Peace, brother Bernard, Devil's Advocate, Supreme 10 Peace. About to get started in a little bit, just making sure I got material. Make sure y'all look at the description and grab some of these PDFs and links to these videos we're going to see today.
kingdom power of self-government. I want everyone to listen very carefully. Self-government, the original purpose and principle of personal leadership. Your life is your call, and your calling always has life in it.
Boom, the world class.
Welcome to the world class. I am Noble Miguel Mario Tunica Bay, Moorish American Muslim, consecrated and appointed missionary in the Moorish Science Temple of America. And what's today? Today is what? The 1st of May. This video, this live, I should say, we are continuing our review of modern money mechanics. So let's start with the question. First piece of the chat, like and subscribe to the channel, comment what you like, what you don't like, what you're here to see, what you would like to see. This channel is literally titled for what it's for. It's for world class understanding. You know what I'm saying? Our people have been left out of world issues, out of world class level of intelligence and knowledge for so long. And those of us that have managed to finesse the system, be lucky or whatever, and get our hands on this information, most of us just get money and just stay to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? It's something I know I can do. I got a tremendous amount of talents. You'll see that later after we lay down these foundations. I'm not really interested in that. And I'm just like, somebody got to do something different, different, I should say. And when I was younger, I was around a lot of violent criminals, and the OGs, after seeing my dad go to jail when I was 3, after seeing my older brother get killed when I was 20, when he was 21, I was 8. They kind of shielded me a little bit, and they made me give my word. In the hood, your word is your bond, and he made me give my word to finding something different. They said you got to do something, you got to find another way, and I gave my word, and that's what I've been working on doing. Granted, I was a little boy, teeny weeny little boy, but your word is your bond, and I've been following through on that. And so, life has led me here to modern money mechanics, and first thing we're gonna do is answer the question in the chat. Does modern money mechanics teach financial literacy? Yesterday we was on the Big Mike channel. Shout out to Big Mike. Shout out to Brother Bernard S. Shout out to K. Glavelle, aka Moving Without Motions, and we were talking about reverse engineering was being put in our face, right? But that topic was about history. Gotta go check his channel out. I'll link his channel throughout. He'll probably pop up today. I'll link his channel in that live up today at some point. We was talking about how Harvard University had released, information that, their participation in slavery and things. So we got into talking about reverse engineering. So we'll pretty much do that today with financial literacy. I think those are 2 extremely important topics, 2 big topics. I would say history is a little bigger because financial history is within history, right? We're particularly talking about history as it relates to slaves and shit like that. But we're gonna do that today, and then we're gonna give some what I think was dope yesterday that Big Mike Drop did. He showed I think it was a professor from MIT explaining things. So we like to put people with credibility in front of people and credible information. Like, I'm gonna show this again after I read this part, right? To answer the question, we like to put those people in front of you, so you can see that it's not some kook, it's not some conscious nigga, hope type nigga coming up with concepts. You're gonna see the same things that you're gonna hear them claim sovereign citizens or dusties or hoteps or lazy people say. You'll see a millionaire say it. Very well-known millionaires say literally the same thing and crush this whole concept. So I want to put I'm gonna shoot up here. Let me see. Let me make sure I can find where I'm at the zip back up here, because I really losing it sometimes. So does modern money mechanics teach financial literacy? So look at this highlighter right here, right? How much money is demanded depends on several factors. So these several factors is what we're going to what we can, and again, the link to a PDF to Minor Money Mechanics is in the description. So definitely go download that so you can follow along, because we're going to go through this document throughout the life of this because it's foundational to understanding money. This was released, I think, in I was after 2000. But it's essential to understand it, and they're not hiding it, and there's nothing too hard at this point, and a lot of people know it, right? So these several factors, such as the total volume of transactions, total volume of transactions in the economy at any given time, you could break that down to how much the total volume of transactions in your household or in your own personal spending, right? Reverse engineering in real time. The payment habits of the society, what type of things you're buying. We're going to get into assets and liability a little later, right? You can also look at, it also says, the amount of money that individuals and businesses want to keep on hand to take care of unexpected transactions. That, I don't think I'll be in trouble by saying, that's called a emergency fund, right? And foregone earnings of holding financial assets in forms of money rather than in some asset. That's just basically liquid cash, how much money you keep available in the public and in your bank account. These are some things that we are seeing that is important to the Federal Reserve. So this is what the Federal Reserve, or I'm not going to say the U.S. Treasury, but this is the finances as it relates to the nation. This is what they look at. We want to look at, again, it's hard touching this stupid thing. Look at total volume. Just this word, these two words right here is extremely important. The total volume, and you can put up transactions. You want to look at what you've been spending, right? But this is what they look at to judge whether they're going to keep money and judge whether the value of money is going to go up and down from their standpoint. From our standpoint, we can do the same exact thing, right? And I think this is important. So let me show you again if you haven't seen it. I know some people are new to the channel. Let me back this up. So Minor Money Mechanics is from the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. Not some conscious community dude, not a sovereign citizen, not some weird little group. This is actually from them. This is a workbook on bank reserves and deposit expansion. This is where we get it from. It's not something that we're making up. All right. Last week we talked about James Trafficott's speech, where you got an actual representative, a speaker, a representative from Ohio, right here, that went through this whole thing. We're not going to go through this again. We read this. Go look at the last live. But a link to this is in the description. I just want y'all to be caught up. These three things here, we're going to go over at another time, but I want to put them in front of your face again. Executive Order 6111, Executive Order 6073, and Executive Order 6102. So these are from 1933 that applies. We're gonna kind of jump ahead because I like to be able to provide people what do we do now, what do we do today, and I think we got something decent. So what we will do right now, though, we're gonna go over how to make sure this will translate properly. Let me make sure I got everything lit up correctly. Let me see. I'm just trying to look. I'm literally real time, like trying to set this mixer up so it'll come through the speakers. But I think I fucked up. All right, I'm gonna just have to. So we're gonna look at this video actually on the Federal Reserve. I may have to just bring my speaker closer to the mic because I haven't figured this thing out. What to do. Please let me know if it's too loud, if you can't hear it. Yeah, let me know if it's too loud or you can't hear it, because I haven't had time to test it. I got a 5-year-old infant that's about to wake up. You've been wearing me out. Let's rock. Let me know if it's an echo too. Yeah, that's that. Yep, that's where you got it from. Zeitgeist. I know I went crazy. All right, so got my guy. I talked about him for a minute. We're just gonna start right here. When he goes into it, he's gonna jump into 1971, um, and give his spill.
Be able to see what's coming up as something else is coming down. The last thing I want to point out to
Actually, I could go back to that. We're gonna build on the Federal Reserve aspect of this video, and yes, it's dope. This part right here is fire. Yeah, brother Bernard. Yeah, it's yeah, it's deep, it's simple. It's not even. It just explained that video explained everything. I've known that shit for a while now, and I just be watching these niggas online talk about money this, money that, and never go into that. So I'm like, I know you don't know what you're talking about. You just manage to make some money, and that's cool, but you actually don't know how it works.
you on this idea of saving money is this. One of the biggest misunderstandings in the world today is what they talk about.
This is Robert Kiyosaki. This is not no kook. This is not no, what they call him, crackpot. It's not no. This guy's well respected in the financial education arena for I think over 20 something years. So close to 20 something years. You see his name. You can Google him. The new rules of money. He's going to go into it. We're going to go through this Federal Reserve part and then let him talk about the assets and the liability.
If I misspell again, apologize. Is the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank, which I believe was created in 1913. In 1971, the reason 1971 is such an important time was because the U.S. Federal Reserve became the bank to the world. They could print as much money as they wanted. Never in the history of the world has anybody been allowed to print money for the rest of the world. Let me backtrack one more time. I talked about how the Romans did it, the Greeks did it, and all this. Every time people have done this, chaos has broken out, and that's why there's chaos in the world today. So in 1913, when the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank was created, they were basically allowed to print money for the world. Every time that has happened throughout history, a despot has arrived. For example, in 1933, a man named Adolf Hitler rose to power when the Weimar Republic was allowed to print as much money as it wanted to do. And in Russia, when Russia's currency broke down, a man named Lenin rose. When the Chinese economy broke down, Mao Zedong rose. When the Yugoslavian government broke down, Milosevic arose. So we're in that critical point right now. And one of the causes of it was in 1933, this thing called the U.S. Federal Reserve was created. And I think, they've done a pretty good job of making the rich richer.
In 1913 is when it was created. In 1933, some of those laws that I mentioned, those executive orders, that's when they went into effect. And then that's when the Federal Reserve was put forth to execute on said orders. So he misspoke there, but he's in the right ballpark. So he's jumping from 1913, from when it was created, 1933 to when those executive orders by Roosevelt went in, and then he's jumping to 1971 to express what he's actually going to express right now in a second, because you see what the title is, the new rules of money. And so it's very important. Now, he's one of the rare people that I see actually go over this. I truly appreciate it because. Like back in the day, I was starting a show, like a little radio show called The Bridge. And all I wanted to do is like bridge these different communities, like the conscious community with the entrepreneurial communities, like bring these researchers together. But it didn't just don't work because everybody be on their own shit. Whereas me, I can go everywhere. I put this stuff together. I see the big picture, the big picture. It's like some people are macro thinkers and some people are micro thinkers and some people are macro thinkers and some people are micro thinkers. So I may be one of the macro. Like I look at the big picture and then the big picture of the big picture and I can see how it all fits together. But this part right here is dope.
Unfortunately, the poor many of the poor are getting poor. One of the problems of this is you have to understand that, first of all, the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank is not U.S. It is made up of a bunch of international rich guys from all over the world. The second thing, it is not federal. It's not a U.S. entity. It is, again, a bunch of rich banks from all over the world. Third, it has no reserves. There is nothing there. And fourth, it's not a bank.
Man, that shit need to be clipped, bro. That shit need to be clipped. Let's go over this again.
Difficult point right now, and one of the causes of it was in 1933, this thing called the U.S. Federal Reserve was created. And I think, they've done a pretty good job of making the rich richer. Unfortunately, many of the poor are getting poor. One of the problems of this is you have to understand that, first of all, the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank is not U.S.
So to Big Mike, if you listen to when you watch this, you see these people bragging about money. Well, why wouldn't they brag when this money in this system is from immigrants or foreigners? You see the confidence they got? You see, even in their country, the central banks is not even from that country. See? That's why, I got money now. It's a stupid argument. This is disingenuous. To talk about money in this country is very disingenuous. It's really stupid because if you were born after 1933, you never touched money a day in your life.
It is made up of a bunch of international rich guys from all over the world. The second thing, it is not federal.
It's about as federal as Federal Express. It's just a word that they use and copywritten or put an LLC in. It's not federal. It has nothing to do with the government. So it's not from the U.S. and it's not with the government.
It's not a U.S. entity. It is, again, a bunch of rich banks from all over the world. Third, it has no reserves.
So it's not from the U.S. It's not a part of the government. It's not federal at all. It has no reserves. It's completely, it ain't just called false advertising. But you can't call it that because it's just a name. It's not an advertisement. Yep.
There is nothing there. And fourth, it's not a bank.
It's absolutely positively not a bank. Bank have money. They don't have any money.
So that's why when I talk to people, I really need to understand the new rules of money, which really began to take effect in 1971 when we were allowed to print money for the rest of the world, is understanding that this system here is causing the rich to get richer and the poor and middle class to get poorer, but most importantly, the lower middle class is almost getting wiped out.
Fact.
High prices, volatilities in the market, food getting more expensive, gas getting more expensive.
Ain't that literally what we're watching right now?
Savings getting wiped out,
Mm-hmm.
home values going around. And the reason the troubles have started again is the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank is not U.S., it's not federal, there's no reserve, it's not a bank. So if you understand that, then you can start to hedge your position rather than save money. And that's the new rule of money.
So this is the dope part. We're going to get into some of the fun things about how this exists. And I don't think nobody is better explaining it than he is. I mean, it's pretty, like I said, it's probably some guys in private. My mentor is really, really good at it. But my mentor doesn't include this part as much. I've been watching him talk about this part. I know he knows it for a fact. But when he taught money, he taught it from such an elementary standpoint of what's principal and what's interest, what's an asset and what's a liability. But I love how Robert bridges it. But I think in the way he bridges it, it makes it better for the masses to understand. I think he's just one of the dopest people in this arena of financial education. Again, link to this video is in the description. Go get all things Robert Kiyosaki at all times. If I was to sell any books, it would be the books I read and it'd be his stuff mainly. Because when you understand that, and he's, what's dope about him? He's a real estate guy, and most real estate people are trash when it comes to financial literacy. They're really goofy, and celebrities, they don't understand money because you're selling a house. Who don't want to buy a house? You can't. That's hard. How hard is it to sell a house? That's one of the things that sell itself. So, but in the financial arena, we had to sell responsibility, and that's what most people don't buy. But he is so smart, and his story is amazing. And is his simplicity, his toughness. Yes, Rich Dad Poor Dad. His education system that he has with his wife is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. So definitely go check him out. This part right here is dope though. So we got the new rules of money. Robert Kiyosaki presents the new rules of money, assets versus liabilities, the basis of financial literacy. So you see how he frames it. He talks about the Federal Reserve and he goes right into assets versus liability. Because what do we just realize? We just realized that money is a debt. So we have to know what we need to do about it and why, because we already know why we need to do something about it. And I love how he explains this, and I love what he starts with this. It's dope.
So another old rule of money was, you have to buy your house because your house is your greatest investment. And that's where I got into a lot of hot water in 1997 when I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I said to people, your house is not an asset, your house is a liability, because most people think their houses are assets, and that's not true. So the old rule of money was to buy a house, and the new rule of money is you have to know the difference between an asset versus a liability. And these are very simple accounting terms, and again, I don't spell very well. So if I can explain very quickly why most people's houses are not assets. I'm not saying don't buy a house and don't have a dream house. I'm just saying know that there's assets and liabilities.
Thanks.
Because when you look at a financial statement, and this is my rough draft of one, this is the basis of financial intelligence, the basis of your financial IQ.
Mm-hmm.
This is why your banker asks you for your financial statement. Your banker does not ask you for your report card. The banker does not give you great grades or what school you went to. The banker wants to see your financial statement, income, and balance sheet, because this shows them how smart you are financially. This is more sophisticated than just your credit score. But anyway, financial statements, that's income, expense, asset, and liability. So when most people buy a house, liability, when most people buy a house, what you have here is a mortgage. And it looks like I have a house here, which is an asset, but that's not really accurate. What determines if something's an asset or liability is the most important word in financial intelligence, and the word is
cash flow.
Cash flow.
Yep.
And we ask any accountant how important this is. So as a young boy, my rich dad very simply said, assets put money in your pocket. Cash flows into your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And a liability takes money from your pocket.
And to back his point up, even in the financial services arena, we say the same thing. Like a house that you're shitting and pissing and putting wear and tear on. Now, obviously, it's not a car, but you're using it up. The weather is wearing on it, right? And if it's not giving you income every day, or you're not generating money, how is it an asset? Oh, but it'll grow over time. Okay, but when you raise how much it costs to live in there versus how much it actually paid you, right? Is it an asset? Sometimes it can be, but then when you add the mortgage in there and how much you're liable at the same time, is it an asset? 99% of the time it's not. So I'm not playing in a 1% success range. So the house, your dream house, is not an asset. It's a liability. It's pretty simple. It's not rocket science. Your dream car is usually a liability. If you're not making money with it, it's not an asset. It has to put cash in. It has to increase the value, intrinsic value, et cetera, and not the latter, and not the opposite. It's just that simple. But we are sold on the big house with the smiles and the Newport, the Newport commercials or the Michelob Light commercials. Like we sold that, but when it comes down to the literacy part, you know what I'm saying? And it's surprising. He said this in 1997. It's 2022, and people still think a house is an asset. Do you understand why a channel like this and a topic like this is important? Because people are getting misinformation. So if you came here and you kind of do this channel and you seen like the stuff with Anton Daniels and shit, it's because idiots like that are not teaching anything valuable. Has nothing valuable about what he's teaching because there's no foundation. It has people in his shit still think a house is a liability. I mean, house is an asset. You're here with me. You already know it's not, right? You already know what money is. And then we're getting into how we can help you, but I'm letting you know what it is. It's like, it's just like if I see you meet a girl as a guy, or your girl and I see you meet a guy, If I know that dude has HIV, or I know that girl got HIV, why wouldn't I tell you? Either I don't know, or I know and I'm a piece of shit. That's how I look. So either way, I'm not credible, right? That doesn't help you. So this financial system has worse than HIV. Because we know Dr. Sabi, you can get, and we're gonna do a Dr. Sabi live in a little bit, maybe a week or two from now, to get on the health tip, because these things go together. Literacy, etymology, parsing, and syntax, real financial intelligence, and how the body works. We're gonna go over these three things, and then we're gonna go over universal law. Not then, but throughout, we're gonna go over these things. That's the foundation of this channel. Is updating your knowledge, right? This is extremely important to get, man. This is we're gonna have to talk about that. Talk about this ad nauseum, because what I also am going to show with my money mechanics with respects to what central banks is that we have the same opportunity, but we're not taking advantage of it because we just don't even know it exists. But meanwhile, the banks are showing us, they have already showed us and told us that they're going to take advantage of it. And it's important for y'all to think, to change the thinking into a world-class mentality, to update your brain to that level, to what the planet is really doing, and not the fluffing stuff and the stupid shit that don't actually help us.
So if you're truthful about it, you say, well, does my house take money from my pocket? And I would say for most people, every month their house takes money from their pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And then the savers say, but my house is paid off. I don't have a mortgage. But you still have expense, insurance, and upkeep. So the house is taking money from your pocket. So my point here is this: if I have a house and money is flowing out of my pocket, that house is a liability. So my personal residence, my home, is a liability. Now, I love my house. I want you all to have your dream houses and all this. But I don't call my personal residence an asset. It's a liability. It's about $15,000 every single month, whether I make money or not. That's still, the bank still wants to get paid. Taxes still want to get paid and all this. Now,
shout out to Robert Kiyosaki having a $15,000 mortgage, and I think probably, what is this, early 2000s. Shout out to Rob, man. Live your life, Big Pimpin'.
If I have an apartment house or a single family house and every month my tenant pays me money, then that same house is an asset.
Facts.
So now let's say the tenant walks out and stops paying me. That's when the house turns into a liability because I have no money coming in.
Facts.
So it's very simple. Rather than say my house is an asset, you have to know today in the new rules of money, what's an asset and what's a liability. Very simple rules are: assets, put money in your pocket, and liabilities, take money from your pocket. So when I ask most people, if you stop working today, how much money keeps going out? Where that money is still going out, it's a liability. And if you stop working today and money keeps coming in, that's an asset.
It's that simple. That simple. All that filler or busting shit that you watch people do is because they don't have this value. They want to drip feed you information. It's just that simple. It took maybe 20 seconds for him to explain that. Watch a nigga talk for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and they don't say anything. Stop listening to stupid people like that. World-class people talk like he talk. We just give you the shit. You watch Supreme 10 in his video say, you said that. Yep, I just said it doesn't matter. There's so much value out here. I don't have to drip feed you information. It's so much shit. It's endless, man. When you live in the real world and you operate at this, you have accurate information, bro. You can't run out of value if you on this tip, man. You don't need to listen to no idiot drip feeding you information, man. When we went over money mechanics, it's just shit after shit after shit. That's how banks talk. We talk numbers, man. I don't got time for that. That filibuster shit and make you feel a certain type of way. Shit's simple as fuck. That's how you get dope as fuck the way you talk, bro. This is how people that actually want to help you, this is how we talk. Telling you what it is right now. All that other shit is for clowns that don't have the talent, that's vexed, that want to steal information from you and suck your time up to kind of make you compensate for what other people in their own life didn't give them. Call out the fuck shit and the fuck niggas.
Money is coming into your pockets. Assets, put money in your pocket, and liabilities, take money from your pocket. The reason my wife and I could retire when we did at a relatively young age, we had more assets than liabilities. The reason people are in trouble today, they have more liabilities than assets. So if you're going to be rich today, don't just say my house is a good investment. You have to ask yourself, is my house an asset or a liability? My wife and I have 2 houses, one regular residential house, one vacation house, but we have several, I think we have about 1,000 to 1,500 apartment units that every month put money in our pocket. We also have stocks that put money in our pocket. We also have oil investments that put money in our pockets. So I work very hard at acquiring assets and minimizing liabilities. And that's the lesson on why the new information, the new rules are you must know assets versus liabilities.
So let's look at, let me put this logo up there so you can see. So let's look at what he's saying. He just gave us assets and liabilities right after talking about the Federal Reserve, right? We and we seen prior to that money is debt. So we have to, it makes sense for us to transfer these debts, aka our money, into an asset that's going to put money in our hands. Does that make sense? We got to put out as much as we can, take our Federal Reserve notes, take our so-called money, medium of exchange, these dollar bills, these blue face hundreds, these 50s, 20s. We have to put it in something that's going to increase in value very fast, right? We'll get into numbers and shit like that another time, bring up a financial calculator and go into it. And just from a math standpoint, take a dollar sign out, just from a math standpoint, talk about what makes sense, and go from there. But didn't want to, I mean, we can go back into, let me see if, okay, you know what I want to do? Actually, let's go right back to this and let's look up, find a quick video on, it's going to, I have in the description the full audio book to the Richest Man in Babylon. To this one right here that I'm cursor is over. I should be, yeah. This is in the description. So if I want to find a quick one, it kind of goes over that. Okay, this is short. We're gonna watch this together, so ad probably gonna come up. But if you can remember from what we just watched, keeping a 10% reserve, right? Now watch this. I already know the books.
If you're a homeowner in Maryland,
I already know the book, so I know what they're about to go over. So, yeah, man.
Hey guys, it's Theodore from Practical Psychology, and this is going to be a book review of basically the big ideas that I got out of The Richest Man in Babylon. So the first big idea is to keep 10%. This book made it pretty clear that a large...
Does that sound familiar? Ain't that what the bank did? This is The Richest Man in Babylon. So this is based off stories that comes from what, I forgot the name of the guy. Shit, the book right here, my damn face. What he did to become the richest man in Babylon, his concept was keeping 10%. And this is all the way back in Babylon. This is a long time ago. Just like Federal Reserve, this how modern money mechanics express that its foundation comes from goldsmithing, right? Its system comes from goldsmithing. This book, Richest Man in Babylon, is just about, if not older than that. And you see, right, keep it 10% right here. That's what the Federal Reserve doing. Federal Reserve is doing, and their fractional reserve system. See?
Portion of the richest people in the world save their money. To get rich, you need to save and invest at least 10% of your entire income.
It's invest, it's not save. Get that word save money out of you. Get that term save money out of your lexicon. Money is not in danger, you are. Don't save it, save you.
Top earners and the wealthiest people in this world invest way more than 10%. But for the average person, 10% is a great achievable goal. Start this today as soon as possible to lock that habit down. And yes, saving is a habit. In fact, just recently, I've been putting 5% of my income into a savings account and started putting money into an IRA, something that I recommend to anyone to do. Tip number 2 is to control your expenses. Honestly, this is something I need to work on. When you're trying to increase your wealth, there are 2 things you can focus on: increasing your income and decreasing your expenses. A lot of self-help books tell people to focus on just increasing their income. But if you're living lavishly right now, it might be easier just to cut your expenses in half than it is to double your income. For example, I spent probably a couple $100 extra last month buying myself a new pair of headphones, going out to eat more, and actually I spent around $500 on Facebook ads that didn't earn me any money back.
So I think one of the dopest things he just said, which is what most of us in financial, I'm not now, but I was before in financial services, tell people, and that's reduce your expenses, bro. Like everybody just wearing fucking Versace robes and shit, and Lamborghinis and shit, and I can fly it. No, bro. It's not about being rich. It's about being financially independent. And if you don't have any debt, no personal debt, or you reduce your liabilities. Granted, if it's different from being an entrepreneur, you have to take on some type of debt, aka credit. You can leverage that debt, et cetera, et cetera. OPM and shit like that. We're not talking about that. But your own personal finances, you want to have you want to have no debt. If you have no debt, no liabilities, and you are making like 50,000, like if your house paid off, your car paid off, stuff like that, you only making 50,000, you lit. You got you properly insured. You got your retirement set up, bro. You free. Other than what you make other than your job, which is taking 40 hours from you. But if you getting $50,000 in passive income and you don't got no debt, and that's you rich. You got your time, you got money, you don't got no how. Like that's the goal. That is the foundation of all millionaires and retirees on this country, especially in this country and around the planet. Stop listening to these dudes that want to talk about crazy stuff and all that fluff and stuff. Most people do not have it making a bunch of money. Most people have done it, and I mean most people in the history of the planet has done it. Eliminating their debt, right? Restricting their expenses over a certain period of time and getting a consistent return, not making $1 million in a month. It's a lie. Go ask any accountant. They won't challenge anything I just said. That's an absolute fact.
I finally stepped back and thought, how much is this ad spend generating? It was an expense that wasn't increasing my output, so I got rid of it. But you should aim to do what I just did monthly. If you're not tracking your expenses and income, then you're not going to become rich. I can guarantee you that. You can't manage what isn't measured. So start budgeting and tracking your money. It's just a tool.
I like that term. You can't manage what isn't measured. I like that. That's why judgment is good. That's why criticism is good, because that has to do with measuring.
And if you don't keep it sharp like a saw, it will take you more work to accomplish your financial goals. Tip number 3 is to invest in places that you are knowledgeable. Why?
Absolutely. Warren Buffett has said this. I was offered Bitcoin before it was, I think I was offered it for free. And I didn't even know what the fuck this shit was. And I was like, I can't, because I don't even understand what you're talking about. This is important. You invest in, because if you don't know what you're doing, that's not investment. That's gambling. It's a lie. Like, you're not investing if you don't know what's going on. Now, granted, not knowing what's going on doesn't mean you know all the fees, SEC regulations, FCC regulations. All that's not that. That's just having it, like we know what principal and interest is. Having principally a good understanding, a sound understanding of the vehicle in which you want to invest in.
Bitcoin falls in this category.
And again, this is, I just mentioned Bitcoin. This is in the book, The Richest Man in Babylon.
I have no
link in the description for the full audio book. It's like 4 hours long.
No idea how Bitcoin works. I don't know where it will be in 10 years. And most people investing in Bitcoin honestly don't know how it works either. According to the advice in this book, most people should not invest in Bitcoin. You should invest in things that you are very knowledgeable about. For example, I know quite a bit about creating YouTube videos, sales pages, and email marketing. So I'm going to work on growing my net worth using those skills instead of betting it on Bitcoin, which is technically completely uncontrollable by me. Put your money in places that you're knowledgeable about and in places that you can control. For example, I can control how well my new course sells by how much content I create, by how much I spend on advertising, and how well the ads convert.
And again, to put this in proper context, he is explaining what he got out of the book, right? He's not giving financial advice. I'm not giving financial advice. He is expressing what he got from the book, and it's the same exact position I got from the book. I said it again, mind you, I just said I'm gonna randomly find a video, and I was explaining Bitcoin before he brought it up. So we read the book, we understand the 10% thing, and then investing in what you know what I'm saying, and reducing your expenses. This shit is foundational, bro.
All things that I can control. You'll notice all successful investors do the same thing. In fact, in most public stocks, when you buy a share, you're actually buying a part of a company that you can make a decision in. In some cases, if you own a certain percentage, you can actually be on a board of directors that makes big decisions, controlling a part of the company and having influence on your actual investment. Tip number 4 is to keep learning and always keep growing. This ties in with investing in what you are knowledgeable about. You can broaden your investing area simply by learning about more things. For example, I could take a Bitcoin course and probably be in the top 10% of people who actually know how Bitcoin works, but I'd have to take the time and learn. Maybe I need to work on my video thumbnails. I'll test, experiment, grow, and learn how to make them better throughout time. You guys can literally scroll through my channel and look at the massive amount of experiments that I've tried. A little self-plug here, you can check out my Psychology of Attraction course at psychologyofattraction.com or in the description to learn how to become a better communicator and get people to like you. A lot of the stuff in the course is intended for dating, But for the price that I sell it, you can definitely get an ROI for my premium content.
The reason I let that rock he's expanding on, literally the principles that's taught in the book, because he knows this thing, psychology, or he's invested in it. Given the example he did with Bitcoin, and that's pretty much it. He's simultaneously doing what he's saying he's doing. You know what I'm saying? What he learned from the video. So, from the book. I apologize. And that's literally it. Psychologyofattraction.com. You want to check it out? Go check it out. I think I put the link to this video is in the chat.
Most of it's just general communication and likability stuff. Now, besides my course, there are tons of other courses out there that will teach you things that put you years ahead of your peers. In fact, one of my biggest investments in 2018 is going to be buying video courses, because if an expert can put time to summarize everything they've learned into a single course, I'm sure that I will get value from it. It's one way to accomplish the advice of the richest man in Babylon: keep learning. Tip number 5 is to guard your money from fatal loss. This means insurance. You buy insurance for your car, you buy insurance for your home, and you buy health insurance too. Also, this goes for cash. Don't stuff it all underneath your bed. Imagine if your house caught fire and it all burned down. That would be horrible and you'd lose everything. Instead, take it to a bank or invest it somewhere else. Also, avoid gambling, because most gambling places are actually rigged to lose. And everyone has seen the recent Bitcoin hacks. Take this into perspective. Can you actually guard a Bitcoin? Are there places out there that insure your Bitcoins? Just something to think about. Tip number 6 is to set up passive income. One day you might be physically or mentally ill enough to not be able to work. Avoid this by setting up systems to grow your net worth even when you aren't there.
And I think this is important to understand, because people don't understand the difference between investing and setting up passive income. Those are distinct things. You can set up passive income from being an entrepreneur, and you don't actually have to invest any money. You can physically do it, create it, network, set up contracts, be good at negotiation, and set up a situation where you pay without being there, or you have minimal effort in it. Whereas investing, they can pay you too indirectly, but they're pretty distinct. They do have some overlays, some cross jurisdictional language in it, but those are distinct things.
The 4-Hour Workweek is a great book on this, but I also made an entire video on passive income. Passive income is something that I love teaching about, and actually there was a month this year where I didn't do anything but read great books, and I still earned $4,000 after taxes. If that's something you're interested in, go check out my passive income or how to make money online videos.
Amen.
That stuff is still relevant today. One more thing before I end this video. I'm about to launch a growth group in 2018 where each week I'll create a book summary video.
I won't go listen to your growth book. Okay, this is something else I want to talk to you guys about, because it ties right into mind and money mechanics and whether you know about it or not. And it's pretty much about some of the things you hear, right? So this is how the IRS, right? Frivolous tax arguments. This pretty much was made for this particular thing. They just, they petty. Just because they look all professional, don't think that they're not. I don't think that they're not petty. They petty as fuck. So it says voluntary nature of the federal income tax system, right? I'm just going to show y'all just a little trick. So contention, they're here to contend it. The filing of a tax return is voluntary, because you hear this so the same people that talk about this, they also mention this, right? So this can't be refuted because we use their tax code, but then we use their actual document. Then you have this, and I'm not going to argue whether it is or not, so don't worry about that part. But it's something I just want to show you how, these finessers, whether they're an official corporation or they're just a regular dude or gal, how they try you with shit. So it says the filing of a tax return is voluntary. Some taxpayers assert that they are not required to file federal tax returns because the filing of a tax return is voluntary. Proponents of this contention point to the fact that the IRS tells taxpayers in the Form 1040 instruction book that the tax system is voluntary. Additionally, these taxpayers frequently quote Florida versus United States, 362 U.S. 145 176. I think it's from 1960, for the proposition that Our system of taxation is based upon voluntary assessment and payment, not upon distraint. So they're saying, so, but, you know, matter of fact, let me just drop this in so you guys can look at it for yourself. Drop this in the chat. Drop this in the chat. My bad about that. Just want to be thorough. It's one of these channels you have a researcher, so we do research and shit. I apologize if you don't like that. It's not so much entertainment. We got some entertainment shit coming, right? So this is their rebuttal. The law. The law. The word voluntary, as used in Flora and IRS publications, refers to our system as allowing taxpayers initially to determine the correct amount of tax and complete the appropriate returns rather than the government determine tax for them from the outset. The requirement to file an income tax return is not voluntary and is clearly set forth in sections 6011A, 6012A, what is that? Sequence 6072A of the Internal Revenue Code. It says see Treasury Regulations, subsection 1.6011 -1A. I'm gonna put this in a chat too. I want y'all to see where I'm going with this. This is something that, like, people that study law has already seen it. People that know law know what we do. They already seen the fuck shit. And I'm not about to refute any of these things because you're gonna see why I'm not about to refute it. Any taxpayer who has received more than a statutorily determined amount of gross income in any given tax year is obligated to file a tax return for the next year. Failure to file a tax return could subject the non-compliant individual to civil or criminal penalties, including fines or imprisonment in the United States versus Tedder, right? 786 F.2D 550. I'm sorry, 540, 542. 10th Circuit, 1986, the court stated that although Treasury regulations establish involuntary compliance as the general method of income tax collection, Congress gave the Secretary of Treasury the power to enforce the income tax through the involuntary collections. The IRS efforts to obtain compliance with tax laws are entirely proper. I'm going to show y'all two things that's going to be very important to this. The IRS warned taxpayers of the consequences of making frivolous arguments, and I forgot this, Rev Rule 2007 to 20, 2000. -20, 2007-1. I forgot what that means. CB. That's why nobody knows what the fuck this shit is in the tax code because it's stupid. CB 863 and notice 2010-33. And 2010-17 IRB 609. Okay, all of that. I had to read it out for just in case people just listening on playback and shit. And I already put this the link to this here, and this is off the IRS website. So relevant case law. So as we study law, we look up case law, and I'm going to give you something in a second, but I'm just going to read the commentary. Supreme Court stated that in assessing income taxes, the government relies primarily upon the disclosure by the taxpayer of the relevant facts in his annual return, right? To ensure full and honest disclosure, to discourage fraudulent attempts to evade the tax Congress imposes, either criminal or civil sanctions, right? And this is the United States versus Tedder. The 10th District Court upheld a conviction for willfully filing a tax return, stating that the tax system is somehow voluntary is incorrect, right? I can go on and on and on. So what is my take on this? First, before I give you my take, I want to remind you that we just watched Robert Kiyosaki, right? We got to go back. We just watched Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah, in this video, talk about, I think it's even right here on the screen.
The Japanese and the Chinese.
Right, so you see he has 1971, right? So this guy, this person, this part up here was talking about these taxpayers frequently quote Flora, United States, and this is the year 1960. So the things have changed. That's why he said the rules of money has changed. That's why it says that right here. The rules of money has changed. So these people, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So from 1960, it would have been correct. That argument by itself, but that argument by itself is not good enough. Right. So what is my take on this? Is that, are they incorrect or are they correct? They are correct in what they're arguing, because they're not arguing what you're arguing. They're arguing. You can see it right here. Taxpayer. Taxpayer. How is a taxpayer going to assert that they are not required to file a federal tax return? How could they say that? They are a what? They are a taxpayer. So if you're a taxpayer, you can't argue that you don't pay taxes. They are keeping their concept within their, they're not arguing outside of their jurisdiction. Taxpayer, right? What do they have jurisdiction over? That's their commentary, right? And this on their website. Let's go to, what do they call them? So Herring versus Mitchell, the Supreme Court refers to them as what? A taxpayer. So a taxpayer has to pay taxes. Pay attention to the games that they play. Watch this. What is a taxpayer? Taxpayer is a person chargeable with a tax. So they're talking only about the people that are chargeable with the tax. So you see bullshit arguments like this. If the IRS is not good enough to hide this in front of somebody like me, what makes you think any of these YouTube niggas or conscious community niggas is going to be able to trick me? You're not good enough. You're making a bullshit argument. This is not what it's talking about. They're basically saying they're tax exempt. They're not saying that they're a taxpayer. If you're not smart enough to don't come your ass up here challenging me. The IRS is not smart enough to play these games with me. You see? So they're keeping the conversation within their jurisdiction, and y'all have to learn how to do this too. You got to learn how to play these games just like they're playing these games. They're saying that they're not a taxpayer, but their official position is that it's not voluntary. And this is called personam jurisdiction. Jurisdiction over the person. How do I know that? That this is personam? Because it says a person. It's that simple, right? What's chargeable? Let's go back real quick, right? Chargeable. So who's chargeable? Chargeable. This word, in its ordinary acceptation as applicable to the imposition of a duty or burden, signifies capable of being charged, subject to be charged, liable to be charged, or proper to be charged. And it gives a case law. So they're not actually refuting it. And they're not giving full transparency that something happened after 1960. They don't give this information. So what do you think people get it from if the IRS and the government is not doing it? And why would the government do it when they got this bullshit going on? And they don't tell anybody anything. That's why we have to, on our own, get this thing to a genius level and have our understanding and our knowledge, and that we deal with each other at a world-class level. Because we can't depend on the government to do it, because it's not in their best interest. You see? This is the games that they play. You're going to rebut something, then rebut it. And you give this long ass stupid shit dissertation to something that doesn't. So I agree with them. They are correct. All of this is correct. None of this is wrong. But literacy is everything. Which, if you don't understand the foundations of things, you're going to miss out. Understanding jurisdiction, personam, territorial, and subject matter jurisdiction. Territorial, subject matter jurisdiction. You see how they define everything in modern money mechanics with the Federal Reserve? You see how they define everything? Definition is everything, man. Literacy is everything. Law and money goes together. Don't separate the two. So that's pretty much what I wanted to do in this video. I'm going to do something much similar to this and the last one that we're going to do on modern money mechanics. Let's see, I ain't gave the stream out to nobody. Anybody want to get up and jump up and express what you've seen today, what you like, what you don't like, and or add to the conversation, you're definitely welcome. You don't have to cam up. You can if you want to. I didn't. I just wanted to get to work and get this stuff out to y'all. That's all. You know what I mean? Some I'll be looking at this shit, man. I'll be blown away. Like, golly, I'm the only goddamn person to know this. I can't be the only person to know this shit, man. But definitely, I want y'all to share this. Go back over this, pick up the notes, go to the chat, the live chat. When you want go through the replay, it'll be available for you to look these things up. I'm gonna do the best I can to transfer somehow. And me and Big Mike was talking about this, and sis, to do the best we can to transfer our research ability to you guys. So we don't do the con artist shit here. You see, I don't sell anything. I'm really good at sales, especially personal one-on-one. But I don't sell anybody anything other than you. The only thing I'm trying to get you to buy is you. Increasing your intelligence and taking advantage of the things that are here for free. I already know the thing with that. People have shit for free. They don't appreciate it. I understand. I get it. But that's none of my business. You know what I mean? That has nothing to do with me. I have to do my job. I know this is available. Like I said, if I seen you get in a relationship with somebody and I knew they had HIV and I don't speak up, then what am I? Right? I'm a co-conspirator in your own murder. Brother Bernard, that's what's up.
What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm awesome, man. If I complain, something gonna fall out of the sky and hit me.
I'm gonna stick to the subject because you saw me. I sent you. You know how I walk on on the weekends.
Yeah.
And,
He's on the health
and
tip.
walking is very good, very healthy. And so I was thinking about that. I was like, well, who researches the researchers? That's one thing, right?
That's a good point.
That's one thing. But number two is all this food everybody's cooking on YouTube, and this is in the Black community. See, this is what I keep saying. You're doing what I'm going to do. The problem is we're stuck in our community with this garbage. And I just got finished telling my wife, because she was listening to you too, because she worked at Bank of America for 22 years, right? Of course, before they laid her off, all she needed was 8. But anyway, I was like, I said, that's the problem. She said, what? I said, this is not interesting. Nobody's cheating on nobody, so this shit is not interesting.
Facts.
It's not talking about somebody getting punched in the face in his own world star. So this is not interesting. I said that's the problem right there. We so distracted by BS, and we end up in mess because of the BS. And then we're like I said before. I said it before, and I say it again on your live and Big Mike Drops and other people's. We are addicted to distractions. And by the time you get to this point where you be like, wait a minute, 1913, yeah, because really a part of it also was taxes was only brought up to support the war. It was not supposed to stay there, but guess what the people did? Hey, I'm just trying to survive. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. This is why politicians seem like the baddest people in the world. No. They just know what you don't know, and they play off of it. Like I said yesterday, if we're always just listening to the guy on the stage and we don't research what they talking about, we're going to believe everything they say. Because just like I always use analogies. Like I was just watching Ghost Rider again. I always watch stuff and replay stuff in my head. He said, hey, man, the devil made a contract when he made the devil. Johnny Blaze was like, hey, I want daddy to live. Devil was like, fine. No, he said, I want him to be better. He said, okay. His dad died. He said, hey, man, he said, no, you said you wanted him to be better. He said, you didn't say you wanted him to live.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting to this, not going off subject. The reason why I brought that analogy in, we have to be specific about even back to what you just said. When Noble or any of your other single sisters out here meet somebody, man, it's more than just the looks. I was with my homeboy yesterday smoking cigars. Let me tell y'all something. They're talking about the cryptocurrency. Okay, but the bottom line is you have hackers. This is all they do. I'm going to leave that alone right there. Now, money is something else. But money for right now and estate and real estate is something you can leave. Where my homeboy works at a plasma place. I can also wheel my liver and my kidneys out to my family members.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So we're not talking about stuff that means anything. We keep talking about stuff that's useless, that means no money, that is not worth anything. Or like you said, going back into money is not as much as you think it is, because back in the day, the Bernards would trade with the nobles.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what y'all got? Y'all got wheat? Okay, look, we got corn. We're gonna. It won't. There was no money involved. People forget that. People totally forget the whole thing about money was not involved for a long time. It was about trading, just like on the stock market. It was all about trading. The Smiths, oh yeah, they grow cucumbers. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, the Johnsons over there, yeah, they got firewood all year round. You know.
That's right. The dog's talking too.
Yeah, I had to tell him to be quiet. I don't know what he barking at. Ain't nobody out here. Can't
He
be the
went in. He went in on the he went in on the conversation. He tired of these bitches
too. You know, but like I said, these guys are up here talking about stuff they don't know what they're talking about. Man, it don't take a lot of time to do research. Your thumbnail can be off the chains, but when I come to your site or whatever, or to your channel, and I'm just looking at you and you bragging more than you are telling people how to actually win, we already know that's a problem. Because just like my homeboy was talking about one of the guys we grew up with, another example. He said, "Yeah, man, I was at the funeral. I saw an old boy the last time, and he said I call him a minor wannabe out there in the street." I said, "Why you say that?" He said, "Because he was trying to brag like he was doing all that." He said, "A real dude ain't gonna be talking what he doing in the streets." I said, "Exactly." Yeah. I said, "Exactly." So this flips right over to YouTube, people. We're not bashing nobody. I'm not. We're bashing the rhetoric, because it's not even content. It's not even content. This is not even content. These people, you're spending a whole 2-3 hours debating on somebody.
You breaking up, bro. You cut out. What did E say? E said it's not a solution. Yeah, I got you now. You said you last thing I heard you say was you debating.
Oh yeah, they're debating about who's right. And because this is my channel, I can mute you. We saw that.
Facts.
So people, what Noble's doing, he's just giving you stuff, and since you don't believe it's not coming from him, he's doing exactly what I would do. Listen to somebody you probably would listen to, since you wouldn't listen to me anyway. How about that? Because for a lot of black folk, if it doesn't come from the white man and they didn't say it, they don't believe it.
And what's worse than that is that if it's not the same situation where if it's not what they're used to, where I don't got to do it if I'm not going to get criticized or ridiculed. Like, you know, if everybody ain't doing it, I'm not going to get a bunch of credit and attention from it, I ain't going to do it. If it's not on that tip, they don't do shit. And that part is sickening too. It's just this coward culture that we have. And it's like I was talking about yesterday, how you have people's value system is about pleasure. And quick fix, instant gratification, and pleasure. But everything that we watch today in this live was about patience. And it was about it takes a process. It's a process. They'll take 1,000. They'll take what was it? What is the example in modern money mechanics? $10,000 and turn into $100,000 probably the same day. It's a process, and they are constantly telling themselves yes, and you tell yourself no. I don't tell myself no. There's no such thing as no. It's just not yet.
Exactly. Change your wording. Yes. Right.
Yes. For things that qualify, for things that are good enough, I'm not going to have in my mind wanting to do something that I shouldn't be doing. So there's no such thing as no. It's just not yet. It's just the mindset that goes with it. It's the same mindset you can take into health. I'm going to tell myself yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with your overall intelligence or genius. So I'm gonna tell myself, yes, I can learn how to play the instrument. Yes, I can learn 17 new languages. Yes, I can learn how to become an engineer. There's no such thing as no, it's just not yet. That's it. Right. And one of the things I want to express to people that's listening is that you have, granted, this is about financial literacy, but speaking to that condition speaks into something I call mental solvency. Let's do this. Let's look up solvency. Let's look up solvency. Let's see what
You
solvency.
gonna whip out that dictionary? Uh-oh.
No, we do here, man. No, we do here, bro. We know what we do here. Hold up. Let's get that. What you talking about? That's my child. Oh boy.
Man, he good, man. I love to hear kids in the background, man, because you know what? That means I know they okay. They being a child.
My 5-year-old infant. Yes, yeah, act like a little baby brat. Oh, what? So we have solvency, and then we, it's based off the word. Let's make this bigger. Solvent, right? From the 1650s. Able to pay one's owes. I'm sorry. Able to pay all one owes, right? To loosen, release, accomplish, fulfill. From the power root, which is pre-Indo-European selu, and see idiom. I should click that because that word, I like that word. To loosen, divide, cut up, apart. Or versus a word like insolvent. So I think we deal with internal insolvency, right? Contemptuous, arrogant,
some words,
showing haughty disregard of others. I know a guy like that. Unaccustomed,
like that.
Unwanted, right? Unusual, unfamiliar, insolvent, right? Be accosted, be used up, cohabit with. We have this internal insolvency that's going on. Like what we just looked at. This is being able to pay able to pay all one owes. It's about indebtedness.
Man, me and my wife were just talking about that because of selling this house. I'm like, I got a truck I don't even drive. I got 2 pickup trucks, but one is just for show. I ain't gonna lie. It's jacked up high. I can drive. I can drive if it floods here, And she got a rooftop, everything, But I'm like, what do I got it for? I said, I still want 3 cars in the yard. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna always have a pickup truck because that means I don't have to call you to move nothing. That's just a man thing in me. I'm gonna always have a pickup truck or 2. But I'm sitting up here thinking about it. I'm like, man, 1 truck is paid for. I said, now I can either hunker down and just pay this other truck off and still pay on it anyway because of insurance, or like Tony Braxton say, be a man about it and just get rid of it and be like, all right, let me just humble myself for a split second. And then when I do go get another truck, I'll just buy that in cash. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that's the right thing to do. Now, what I could have just did on your show is like, man, I ain't giving it up because I know I can afford it. I let my ego start talking.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody just got what just happened. I gave myself and you not you, Nova, but I gave myself and everybody a lesson in the chat. Sometimes, man, you gotta let stuff go, and there's nothing but an anchor anyway.
Hold on. I got you. Watch this.
Yes.
Supreme 10 said the producer of Trading Places, Aaron Russo, has a documentary dealing with the IRS. Check it out. Yes, I've seen that. And we can go over that again. We want to just make people aware here on it because public education is not going to do it, but it's like part of it is, granted, we don't know how to count 1 to 10, shit like that, but you gotta. Among Us. Yeah, you on the headphones. You be talking. A part of financial literacy is prioritizing.
Yep.
Like, you know how to count, but prioritizing. Then it's prioritizing as it relates to the laws that affect your money. And that's not being talked about. It's just, you got to hustle, and whether you're working hard or not, are they beating this person? And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's not what's important. Important is the math, and 24 hours in the day is important, and it doesn't go anywhere, and it's going to go on irrespective of what's going on in your life. You know what I'm saying? And for those that don't understand that, that's what I got to say to you. Like, oh God, like this,
Be gone.
like we don't have time for that. Like, what's the love
Oh, Andre 3000 classic. Oh,
my God. Hey,
oh.
y'all, hold up.
Get my likes up.
That's not gonna happen, man.
You're last. You know, seems as if you either win or crash the car trying to win. Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. You know, I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
Facts. I fuck with you. Yeah, man, we getting into this, man. I definitely appreciate you hopping up here with me, bro. And
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I know people heard say, why he say something? No, I won't say nothing negative. I said he ain't gonna get the lights up. I said because it's not interesting.
Yeah, like he said,
interesting.
like he said, it's not salacious. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just lives like this shit. If people really wanted to make money, lives like this. Granted, I don't got a lot of subscribers and shit like that, but lives like this should be through the roof. But people really don't. People really are insolvent. They really want payback. They really want to make somebody hurt because they were hurt. You know, they arrested development. Therefore, so are their finances, and so are their children. People around you can't grow. The people around you are not developing. They're not growing their intelligence. That shows that you're not. Speedy the leader, speedy the pack.
Well, you have proof the last 2 mornings or the last 2 weekends. Every time I took a picture of the lake I'm walking around, it's empty, ain't it? Not a lot of people out there jogging and walking.
Right.
I'm just saying. So the same applies to when it comes to your health and money. Man, you gotta do better because I'm telling you, health is wealth. If you're not healthy, you ain't gonna make no damn money anyway.
Listen, bro. Listen. When it comes to health of all sorts, when it comes to health, period, and you go to the health places, there's nobody there. The libraries are empty.
Yep.
Right. The lakes are empty. The gyms are packing up, but the gyms are packing up with people that want to look good.
Exactly.
They want to get it's completely two different. They want a good look. They don't want to be healthy because people that are healthy, that are going to the gym to be healthy, their training regimen, and you can just pay attention. And you can, how do you know? Go ask a person what they're doing it for.
Yep.
Go ask them and then watch them when you go in there consistently. Watch them. Watch. You see, it's a ridiculous difference in how people that are there to be healthy versus how they operate and how people that are there to look good. I just want to lose pounds. They're talking about losing weight. People that want to be healthy, they talk about what disease they had or what disease they're trying to avoid or who died. Watch their story. Just ask them. This person out there and there for a completely different reason. Watch their behavior. Then you go, then you can get around people that want to make money. Get people that ask them their story, get to know them. You'll find it's a ridiculous difference in behavior and concept and principles between a person that is trying to make money so they can look fly, so they can get notoriety and attention versus somebody that has watched how poverty has destroyed people. Their mentality is completely different. It's completely different. Their behaviors.
Man, I remember, well, still to this day, y'all can also do like Noble just said and go to the gym and watch how many women still got on makeup while they're working out.
Which makes literally no sense. Right now. Or especially go today. Watch
the male who has the body or the female and they got on a full-fledged outfit, everything matching, looking like I'm here to just look good and okay, all right. And then you got the one over there, they just getting it in. They don't care how sloppy they look. They don't care. Yeah, I dress nice when I go jog. I match. Yeah, that's something. But I'm getting it in. Yeah, my back and my legs, my thighs and everything hurts, when I haven't done it in a while. But before that, here again, what did they not see? I did 10 wide push-ups, then 10 shoulder push-ups, and then I did 10 diamond push-ups. I do that every morning. Off the rip. And I got to tell everybody, since I lost weight, I got off my knees doing it. I got back to actually doing push-ups. For a while, I was on my knees because I just my weight won't right. So guess what, people? I can do a regular push-up now. I'm not doing 100 a day, but I am at least doing 30. Something's better than nothing, people.
Absolutely.
You got to do stuff for the right reason. Once again, it's the quote the guy, the writer gave Ghost Rider in the graveyard. He said, why do you want? He said, you want the contract to the devil to go to Baganza. He said, you did it all for the right reasons. You did it for love. You didn't do it for greed. He said, that makes you dangerous. He said, that puts God on your side. I was like, good God Almighty. I was like, bruh. He said, you did it for all the right reasons. He said, that makes you dangerous. Just that part, right? He said, and that puts God on your side. Ooh, I was like, bruh. I had to pause because that's one of my favorite parts of the movie. I listened to the script writing.
Because that's the truth.
But it's the truth.
It's the truth.
Bruh. When you do stuff for the right reasons, things will come. Things will come.
People will come. People that you would have never met. Like you, Big Mike, Gail. When you do things for the right reasons, bro, you meet incredible people that you like, wow. Because that's what the creator is trusting you with. Y'all nigga that's bragging about money and things that the government or some type of system will give you versus bragging about what the God that he claims he prays to gave him. So God trusted you with a body, and then when you treat that body correctly, you treat the resources correctly, then I can trust you with more of my people. How many whole people are buying into you and investing into you and backing you? How many real people?
Yeah,
it's a different conversation, bro. That's what you just said is extremely important, bro. Like I will never do a course because you always see me do? Go get this book. Go ahead. Go listen to this. Go listen to that.
Go get this book. Listen to that. People, you can do this while you're walking, while you're driving to work every day. Yeah, it's kind of irritating, but sometimes, eventually, something's going to catch your ear. You're going to be like, hold up, I'm going to have to hear that when I get back home so I can write it down. That's how I started listening to audio books and stuff.
Yep.
Telling people, I was like, man, I'm going to work. I'm hustling and bustling, especially when I got this Fortune 500 company, I'm in the process of learning their way of doing things. So I'm like, man, I got to listen to this on the way back and forth to work. And then after a while, hey, people, I'm on a schedule. My wife don't understand. I'm like, I said, that's one thing about Sean Carter, a.k.a. Jay-Z. He said his schedule's in his head. I said, that's how I do. She said, I said, yeah. I said, I don't need to really write it down. I said, I said, you got to forgive me for not telling you what my schedule is in my head. I said, I have certain times of day that I want to go to certain stores to get certain foods because I don't like to be with crowds. I said, but if I feel like being bothered, I'll switch my schedule up a little bit. But that's why I go to the lake early in the morning. I go to the lake like the time I got to be to work. Who does that?
Right.
Right.
Nobody does that. Nobody does that.
That's what I'm saying. You got to do what everybody else is not doing. And you talk about Jay. You talk about Beyonce. We can talk about them all they want. Oh, they this and that. Let me tell y'all something. When you watch that Beyonce special, and she said, I'm dancing 16 hours a day just to make sure I got it right for y'all when I perform. Y'all need to shut the hell up. Because you're not even putting that in. You just doing a TikTok video for like 30 seconds. Stop. Stop hating on these people. They didn't just get it to the top by not working, people. They put in the work. The people, the Robert Kiyosaki's and all them, they put in the work. Yeah. And this is what people don't want. Everybody wants something given to them, man, like you said. And all this money we done got in the last 2 years since the pandemic, what most people do with it? Oh, y'all need to take that money and put it back into the economy. And y'all did exactly that. Y'all did it. Not one of y'all tried to find out some free stuff like my brother up. In fact, you need to put that in the hey, you need to drop that link too, bro. That one you gave me on the mentor thing for trading. It's pretty much a free course, people.
It's in the description in this video.
Okay. Yeah, hey, people, y'all need to watch that. It's a free course. There's no excuse. Yes, is it probably boring? Yes, because of the learning curve. But that end result, when you making a certain, like my boy that was up there the other night, Noble was there, and I meant to tell you should have came up. Todd Williams, 7th grade education. How much he make a year now? $150,000 a year trading. He only has a 7th freaking grade education, people. What are we talking about? Sir Hale Speaks was up there. He said, I had to go get a GED. They making money, though.
It's like the more freaking all that stupid education you get, the dumber it make you.
Bruh.
That's what it seemed like. It's at least financially and health-wise, like the two extremely important things. The more people get that education, the longer it takes them to retire, and the sicker they are. Yeah. Like Dr. Seeley said, I don't listen to sick people. Exactly. All right, what Supreme 10 said, he said the origin of federal taxes was to pay for World War One.
Yep.
After World War One, they made it voluntary.
Yep.
It's a fact.
Facts.
All them things are facts.
Straight facts.
But see, watch this. They started the war on drugs.
Yep, they sure did. They did. But see, you're gonna make me go there. But I like E's statement too. Yeah, that's one of my favorite Warren Buffett statements that she got. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Of my favorites.
Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Absolutely. That's facts. Just, man. Yeah.
Facts. So what you're saying is, see, they didn't see Noble and my uncles and my cousins. They didn't see them coming when you brought that white shit to the streets. You just thought everybody was going to get on it. But you had some real kings be like, no, bro, I'm going to make some money off of this. And now you got millionaire drug dealers who are not millionaires before you brought the stuff to the streets. See, they didn't plan for that part. That's why they had to change the laws.
Yes.
Because now the politicians are like, wait a minute, there's too many Nino Browns around here. Wait a minute, they're making more money than me. Yeah, but you thought everybody was going to smoke it. Because the first rule in the street when I was out there was, you don't smoke your product, you don't hit your product.
Right. then what
don't give your mama dirty money. Don't give your mama no dirty money. So I always had a job. I always had a job, people. It's not just 10 crack commandments. There's a few commandments certain things you just don't do.
The first thing
you gotta follow.
First thing they told me was don't get caught. That's the first rule. Don't get caught.
Oh yeah.
I said I will never break that rule ever.
No.
Do something you don't know you can't get away with. But
exactly.
I think what they also did, they also underestimated was our relationship to the poppy seed and the cocoa plant. Yes. They didn't understand that. Like we got to it like, yeah, you thought you erased it from our memory, but you didn't. There's over 100,000 years of epigenetics. We remember it very well. We do this. We're tradesmen. That's what we do. We are tradesmen.
Yeah, tradesmen.
We're tradesmen. That's what we do. So we know what trade was. It's in our system to flip stuff. That's what we always do. We flip y'all so-called white supremacy, which I hate those two terms. I hate that term. We flip that into the greatest culture of all time, which is hip hop.
Yep.
Serves on every continent.
Yep.
Everybody don't copy the ninja culture or the samurai culture or the Bantu culture or the Mexican or Latin. Everybody has assimilated hip hop. We flip y'all oppression of us to the greatest culture of all time.
Yep.
That's what we do.
I was thinking, oh man, you've been in my brain. But I guess great minds think alike. It's just like, once again, we've given everything to everybody else and kept nothing for ourselves.
You gotta get out of that, and that's literally what this is about. It's showing you the modern money mechanics, the central banks, what Robert Kiyosaki just went over, what these senators are saying and things. It's like to keep that 10% reserve. It's around that 10% reserve. It's not asking a lot. Most of the concept is pay yourself first. Well, pay yourself first. What? 10%. My mentor said. He said, I look at my investments as a bill that has to be paid first. He said, I don't pay nobody until I pay myself. So I don't get cut. Come take it. That's what he told me. He said, you treat that like your mortgage, like you pay yourself first. Because where else you gonna live? You have nowhere else to live but in yourself.
Right. Oh, thank you. You know what? Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. Watch this. That goes back to your body too, people. If you don't take care of your body, you don't have nowhere else to live, because once you get evicted out of this, you're dead.
It's over.
It's
It's
over.
over.
When you get evicted out of this thing, you have nowhere else to live except this meat bag. You need to take care of it.
What's Supreme 10 say? He said Robert Kiyosaki is a deep motivational speaker. Years back, he interviews about the Atkins diet, Kellogg's, General Mills, and Pro said the Atkins diet because they recommended no carbs. He said he walked 5 miles a day, every day.
That is. Thank you, Supreme. I did 3, bro. I did 3 today, and where me and my wife trying to move to, it is not the word. What's the word I'm looking for? It's better places to walk because I had to go to another city and walk. Well, the city I grew up in to walk, and I love that lake because when you hit that lake, it's 1.5 miles. So, bro, yeah, 5 miles is great, man. And this is what I tell everybody. I jog because I can per se, even though I'm 48. But walking, man, you can walk them pounds off. And then I'll come home. I'm about to hit this coconut, smoothie. I don't put no sugar in none of my smoothies. None. I be getting the bags from Walmart or whatever. Everybody like, yo, I said, man, the berries and stuff are already sweet. What are you talking about? Oh, I said, you just defeated the purpose putting sugar in there. What we talking about here? What are we talking about here? When I go to Tropical Smoothie, I said, I need that green machine detox. The one with no sugar? Yep. Matter of fact, give me 2. That's gonna be lunch. I'm done.
Yeah. We're gonna I think next week we're gonna go over Dr. Sebi health eating, health tips and shit, herbs and different things you can do, different techniques and different ideas. We'll do that next Sunday in the AM.
Okay. It'd be nice if I get this person I know that actually, her and her husband actually went to his camp when he was alive and actually met him.
Yeah, listen, this little boy right here, he got we got the recipe to feed him hemp milk, the hemp milk formula from Zave. Zave is Dr. Sebi's daughter. And me and her was in the Dr. Sebi group. Me and her, right? And so it was a dude that had a Dr. Sebi group. So he was saying some stuff that was like that I didn't agree with, but Zave was in there. You can look her up on Facebook, XAVE Bowman, because his name was Alfredo Bowman. That's what Dr. Sebi's name was. So we in the damn group, and the nigga is like he's saying shit that's not true, and me and her like, hold up, bro, that's not right. I mean, what are you saying? So she was going back and forth with him, and he put both of us out the group. Well, how the fuck can you put Dr. Sebi's daughter out of the Dr. Sebi group, bro?
And what group was this?
Natural remedies and some other shit, and the alkaline. It was from years ago. Because my son 5 now. I knew her for like 2 years before that. So she let me know about a lot of stuff that's going on with that. She put me on game. Definitely. So we'll reach out to her, see if I can get her on or see if she
man. Definitely. I would love to listen to her and possibly jump up on a panel with her. Because who else would I believe?
Facts.
Seriously.
Facts.
Seriously, who else? Wait a minute, that was your dad. What? This dude debating you and just like you just said, how the hell did you just kick his daughter out?
And you wrong.
What?
That's the thing that's crazy.
Hey, like you wrong.
And that's her daughter. I mean, that's his daughter. Like, what's wrong? You crazy? So I mean, people get crazy about this thing because they're trying to ride off somebody else's shit and get notoriety or whatever.
Exactly.
I get it. I don't be looking to ride off nobody's coattails. I got my own dad, I got my own big brother, and I got my own name, and that's good enough for me. And I'm
man.
This little boy just looking me in my face, smiling.
Yeah, he probably hungry, man. So he
ate himself to. He needed to fast a little bit. He got to drink some more. He was eating himself to sleep yesterday. Up late night. I said, "Boy, we gonna lay your hind parts down." But yeah, we definitely gonna do that next week. I think I've covered most of what needs to be covered. I think the video covered it with this. But I think the foundation is laid. I think we define what an asset and a liability is, and then it's the fun stuff now. Because I don't want to go into insurance. I mean, I do. I want to go into insurance, but I don't really know like the things. Like I'm not in the insurance business anymore.
Oh, I already got that cooking up. I'm about to hit my man Traveris up today. Email him. That's all he does. He's our insurance guy. That's all he does.
It's extremely important. Insurance is absolutely positively at this point foundational to financial
going back to what you just taught people and what he just taught. one of the first questions I asked that dude, and I'm gonna ask it again when I interview him. I said, "Don't most of the major banks have their money at y'all companies?" He said, "Yep."
Yep.
And then I'm gonna have him break that down.
Yep.
I'm gonna have him break that down for all of us. People don't get that. A bank don't even have a bank. I'm gonna leave it alone. You can go ahead and close the show with that right there. That's what people don't even realize. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, that's a little bit too much. That's a little bit too much. What did Supreme say, Tim? Hold on. He said go to the gym and exercising for less than an hour. Shout out to Mr. Palmer. I've been billable bro most of the week, and he been at it for a minute. And I often tell people, like I stopped working out because I overworked out most of my adult life, which was mainly me using the wrong techniques and shit like that, injuring myself.
Gotcha.
When you work out, you have to have equal work. That's my concept. Unless you're a professional athlete or you playing sport, gotta have equal rest, equal exercise.
Exactly.
Gotta be proportionate. Rest is extremely important when you're exercising, you're tearing muscles, you're putting strain on your joints. You need to replenish your body with those nutrients.
Right.
Like I said, next week we'll get into that. So we can do body literacy, is what I'm gonna call it. Because we on literacy, which is etymology, parsing, and syntax. We on financial literacy, going over the foundations and the laws and some of the history of money. Again, link in the description for the 4-hour audio book on The Richest Man in Babylon. Link to Modern Money Mechanics is in to a PDF where you can download it for free. The videos have been linked in this chat, and I think some of them are in the description. Also, a link to ICT, Inner Circle Trader, who comes from the position that these charts, especially Forex, is completely controlled by the central bank through algorithm. Not just this buyer and seller concept. Salute more. Boy, with his mom unhealthy. They're making him unhealthy. Nothing I can do. We keep getting him shit.
That's a whole show by itself.
Yes, I'm gonna do a whole show about him.
But here's the thing: if you do it or we both do it, I would like to have the women who do the thing.
Yeah,
like drop.
definitely.
I'm like, look, why do you do that? Like you understand, like right, for instance, and I'm gonna say this publicly, and I might have his mom is cool. She like my sister. I love her, but she got 11-year-old. He's got diabetes.
What?
He's 11. He got diabetes. Y'all don't understand. For those that are listening, this is why I've been taking my time with content, because I was telling my best friend yesterday, I'm really going to offend some people. I said, because I lost it last year, dude. I almost started throwing furniture around here. I told my wife, I said, send him to me.
Facts.
I said, give him to me. Oh, no. I said, see, so if you don't want to help him, something happened to him. I don't want to hear it. And that dude, I went off last year. He weighs probably about 170, 180, 11 years old.
What? How tall is he?
He had probably 5'6", 5'7". He's right up there with me because I'm 5'9".
It's not that bad. Yeah, but 11 is pretty big. He's pretty big for 11. That's big.
He's real, and it's like, if you have the solution in front of you, I don't want to hear it.
That's what I'm saying. You know what? That's a whole show unto itself.
And what's crazy is opposite. His mama's doing the part because she calls me and she be like, Bernard, when you go walking, come get him. I'm like, all right. And then, but he's with his dad. But when he goes to his dad, his mom, and his dad, his mom, his other grandma, and his dad, it's McDonald's, it's whatever, it's whatever. It's a grandma love where, baby, if you eating, I know you good. No. No. Let me tell you, let me drop this. I'm gonna let you go because I know you got to go. Hey man, Tarjay has a lot of great, clean food there that you can get for those that can't find a Amish place or a farmer or something like that. Yeah, Tarjay, man, they got a whole joint. Tarjay got the whole joint. You just got, if you seeking, you shall find. That's what I told my wife this morning. I don't care what you're looking for. If you look for it, you'll find it. And you got to, but anyway, yeah, man, that's a whole show. You could do show part one day. We could come bring it to my show, bro. That's because that's facts and the uncomfortable truth right there. Nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah, that's definitely a show we got. There ain't no question. That's the show we
See,
got.
that's why my show is named that, because we're talking about facts, but it's an uncomfortable truth.
Put your link to your channel in the chat, private chat, real quick, so I can put. Unless you, I don't know if you modded up, so we can put it in not only in the chat but in the description.
Okay. Who is this? This is
grab
Marvin. I'm going live on Instagram in 15. I don't even know who that is. I'm getting texted my phone right now because I'm on my phone. I'm like,
oh, you on your phone? Okay. Hold on, I can find it for you. Oh no, I got you.
okay, yeah.
Gucci.
Because I'm gonna start my introduction. It's not gonna be a long introduction. I'm gonna do an introduction of who am I today. I'm trying to think about how I'm gonna set that up. I am gonna be dressed up. You know, I mean, I like dressing a little bit. So, but I'm older, and let me say that, and I'm gonna let everybody know I dress my age.
That's what's up.
And it's nothing against nobody, but you see how I be comfortable when I come up on y'all panel. You know, a little V-neck or whatever. You know, and for those that are ashamed of your stomach, a V-neck points to your stomach. So if you don't like your stomach to be highlighted, don't wear a V-neck. Just throwing it out there. Now, hey, yo, I learned that from because I have a what do you call it? I have a tailor. He taught me that, and I was like, shit, I never thought about that. He said, no, you got a V-neck, your stomach out like that, man or woman. He said it's pointing to your stomach.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, that makes sense.
It's an arrow.
It is arrow.
So when you look at the V-neck, you're gonna automatically look down. I was like, yo.
Not well down.
Yeah, you just I mean, a woman's different. You probably be looking at cleavage, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, in general, you know, you like, wow. But anyway, yeah, man, we got so many topics I'm gonna touch. That's why I've been taking my time, because like I tell everybody, I'm gonna say it on Nobles. I said it on Bit Mike Drops. I've been taking my time, people. My commercial came out Super Bowl Sunday while everybody's watching there. That's when my commercial came out that y'all see on my website. I did that on purpose. And I'm taking my time on purpose, because in between then and now, I've learned everything I don't want to see and don't want to do on my channel.
Yeah.
It's just like trading. It's patience. I'm taking time. I'm not going to just jump out there. I'm just not. I had to find this brother and Big Mike Drop. They have been like, and Gail from day one. Like, look, I just got certain people I rock with. I'm just saying. Sir Hale Speaks. I mean, I can kind of call them out there. Some people might get offended if I forget them, but you know, Todd Williams, all them, Get It Radio, all. I rock with a lot of people that are real, man, and y'all gonna see it when I have them up there. But yeah, y'all gonna see. I appreciate you though, bro, and Supreme 10 and E. Thank y'all for supporting, you know, and supporting my brother here, you know, and everybody else that might be watching just didn't, you know, go in the chat, but I'm saying thank you for him, man. This I don't ever try to call him little bro. I mean, even though he's younger than me, but that's my brother, you know. So we appreciate you, man. This part of the village.
I appreciate you.
So man, do my favorite. I'm gonna drop down. Do my favorite closing that you be doing. That noble drink. That drink is hot. Hey, peace to everybody. One love to you, bro. And I'll holler at you.
Definitely, bro. Appreciate you.
All right.
What's it? Supreme 10 says, what do Beyonce and Michael Jackson have? One thing. Oh, is it what? Oh, well, they have one thing in common. Both entertainers are Virgos and are perfect at their craft. And he says, now I'm putting together my mountain bike so I can start bike riding. I never went. I never did that. My old ass probably fucked myself up now on the bike. All right, man. Yeah, man. You know what we do. Like Brother Bernard just said, man, it's how I close it out. And I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. I suggest all people do that. And ain't but 2 classes on this planet, man. Never been 3. You either world class or you outclass. And the question is not which class do you want to live in. The question is which class do the ones coming behind you deserve for you to die in. On your feet, on your knees. Respect the craft. Noble.